President Vladimir Putin has ordered authorities to provide everything necessary to help wounded Russian soldiers adapt to life after fighting in Ukraine. Speaking during a meeting with senior defense officials, Putin said the state carries an absolute obligation to injured servicemen. He stressed that care must go beyond medical treatment. Housing must be adapted, and access to sport must be guaranteed. Putin said injured soldiers should feel fully needed by the state, not just within the defense ministry, but in civilian life as well.
A person fought and sustained a severe injury. And of course, the state is obliged to provide everything to ensure he feels as useful as possible, not only within his work or service in the Ministry of Defense, but also outside the ministry.
How much time will it take to fully engage in sports and for his living situation to be completely adapted to the condition he found himself in after his injury? This absolutely must be done.
Earlier, President Putin claimed major December gains on the battlefield, praising the army for seizing more than 700 square kilometers of Ukrainian territory. The remarks came during a blunt end-of-year assessment of the war.
During the night of December 28 to 29, 2025, the Kyiv regime launched a terrorist attack using 91 long-range unmanned aerial vehicles against the state residence of the President of the Russian Federation in the Novgorod region.
Moscow is sounding the alarm as the war takes a chilling new turn. Russian officials claim an attempted strike reached dangerously close to the core of state power, targeting a residence linked to President Vladimir Putin. If confirmed, the allegation would shatter long-held red lines, sending shockwaves through Russia's security establishment and forcing the conflict into uncharted, perilous territory. According to Moscow, dozens of long-range drones were launched overnight toward the site in the Novgorod region, but Russian air defenses intercepted them all. Officials said there were no injuries and no damage. Still, the Kremlin treated the claim as significant. Lavrov described the alleged attack as an act of state terrorism and said Russia's military had already identified potential targets for a response. He warned that Moscow would review its negotiating position even as it continues to participate in talks aimed at ending the war.
During the night of December 28 to 29, 2025, the Kyiv regime launched a terrorist attack using 91 long-range unmanned aerial vehicles against the state residence of the President of the Russian Federation in the Novgorod region. All unmanned aerial vehicles were destroyed by the air defense systems of the Russian Federation's armed forces. No information has been received regarding casualties or damage from UAV debris. We would like to draw your attention to the fact that this particular action was carried out during a period of intensive negotiations between Russia and the United States concerning the settlement of the Ukrainian conflict. We want to make it clear that such reckless and irresponsible actions will certainly not be left without a response. The specific targets for retaliatory strikes and the precise timing of their execution by the Russian armed forces have now been definitively determined.
Putin's top ally, Yuri Ushakov, further states that U.S. President Donald Trump was shocked and outraged by Ukraine's alleged attack on Putin's residence. Meanwhile, Ukraine immediately denied the accusation. President Volodymyr Zelensky called Russia's claim false, saying it was designed to justify future strikes, possibly against government buildings in Kyiv. He argued that the allegation was intended to weaken momentum around peace discussions.
This is just another life from the Russian Federation. It's quite obvious that yesterday we had a meeting with Trump. And it's also quite clear that for the Russians, if we don't have a scandal with America, but instead we are making progress, then for them, this is a complete and utter failure. At this very moment, with their declaration that one of their residences was supposedly attacked, they are simply preparing, I believe, they are fundamentally setting the stage to carry out strikes, most probably targeting the capital city and most probably targeting government buildings. So everyone needs to be vigilant now. Absolutely everyone. An attack could be launched on the capital, especially since this individual, if one can even call them human, stated this, that they will be selecting appropriate targets, meaning they are threatening.
There was no confirmation that President Putin was present at the residence, often referred to as Valdai, a site historically used by several Russian leaders. The timing is notable. The alleged drone incident followed President Zelensky's meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump in Florida, part of ongoing diplomatic efforts to find a path toward ending the war. Earlier on Monday, Russia's defense ministry reported intercepting 89 Ukrainian drones across the country, including a smaller number over the Novgorod region. Meanwhile, Putin ordered Russian forces to press ahead with efforts to take full control of southern Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia region as Russian troops reportedly advanced closer to its largest city. Drone incidents near high-profile Russian locations are not unprecedented. In May 2023, a drone struck the Kremlin, an event Russian officials described as an attempted attack on the president. Now, as accusations fly and negotiations continue, the gap between Moscow and Kyiv appears as wide as ever.
Times of India videos, your daily dose of India and the world. Global news, different views, and sharp analysis.
Pressure of expectation from your fans, your supporters.
That has often served as a backdrop for several Bollywood.
You're not a brute majority anymore. If you individually take out data.
Making sense of global conflicts. Tracking the new emerging world order.
Strike on Israeli military bases.
A multi-pronged.
To stay out of harm's way as Israel started bombing targets across.
Understanding changing alliances in a polarized world. Tune into TOI videos for all this and more. Click on the bell icon to subscribe and never miss an update.